put donuts in front of my face, I'm gonna eat them, and then it's gonna stick to my body, and then I'm just gonna become a donut myself, and then one day you're just gonna see me and I'm gonna have sprinkles on me, you know? It's how it works. Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Karen and I'm on an 80-pound weight loss journey. So right now I am on a 21-day challenge to bike every day for 21 days. But I figured, why make you wait for another video when I can sit here and kind of go over how I became the way I am. And I am not really sure. So we're just gonna go through it in chronological order and kind of just talk about everything. To let you know, there are a couple eating disorders in here that might trigger some people. If you do not want to be triggered, or if you have an eating disorder yourself, please do not watch the rest of this video. Please, I'm begging you. Stay healthy for yourself, and if me talking about something is going to put you in a wrong mindset, please click off of this video. Okay, now that my warnings are out of the way, let's go over how this girl became a whale. So, I feel like I need to go back in time and talk about where it all began. So when I was 12 years old, I noticed that something was happening. Okay, I was in the backseat of my grandma's car. She had picked me up from somewhere. It might have been summer camp. It might have just been a day at the park. I don't know, because all I remember was what happened. So I remember sitting there and there was these red scratches, red scratch looking things on the inside of my thighs. And I was like, did I fall and not remember? Did a monster get me in the slide? I don't think so. So, I told my grandma, I was like, what are these red marks? They kind of itch. And she was like, oh, honey, those are stretch marks. And I was like, oh, stretch marks, what are those? And, when I was younger, it was bad to have stretch marks. It was, ridiculed against that. It's ugly and men won't want you if you have stretch marks, and it means you're getting fat and all this other stuff. And I feel like that kind of started the bad weight thing for me. And looking back on it now, those were probably just growing stretch marks. And I just didn't realize it. It happens. I mean, even the skinniest people can have stretch marks, it happens. So back when I hit high school, at my first high school, there was 2 high schools I went to. We'll kind of explain that situation in a second. You'll get it, you'll understand. So the first high school I went to, I was a little bit more popular. I was a cheerleader. I was on the JV team. I loved doing cheerleading. It was so fun to me. And so I had a lot of friends. And what had happened when I went to high school, which was different than middle school, is that you had 2 different lunch periods. You had A and you had B. And all of my friends got stuck in A and I got stuck in B. And I would always sit alone in B and eat by myself and be miserable because all my friends were in A. So I decided, hey, I'm gonna skip study hall and go to lunch A. So I would go up to the line and I would steal sandwiches. So I would be eating one lunch in lunch A, and then literally an hour later I'd be in lunch B and I'd go get my normal free lunch, because I don't know about you, but lunches back then used to be kind of cool. And I'd eat twice for lunch, and that's where it all kind of began. I feel like, looking on it now, it was stupid and it was dumb and I was not educated. And then when I started gaining weight from eating those lunches, I was not fitting into my cheer uniform the same way I used to, and I could be kicked off the cheer team. And so I found out very quickly that if I ate food and then I made it come back up, that I wasn't gonna gain the weight, but I was still gonna feel satisfied. So I did that for a long time, and I was only bulimic during lunch or when I was overeating and I shouldn't have been eating. And it was very hidden from a lot of people. The only people that really knew about it was people that were my friends. Once I lost the weight, it didn't really last any longer than that. And then, let's see, you know, I was active when I was there. I was horseback riding, I was doing softball, I was, you know, on the cheer team. And then my mom met a guy and they ended up getting married very quickly, like very soon. And that was very hard on me because I already had a lot of, you know, daddy issues from my real father. And now I have to have this guy be my dad, and I wasn't ready for it. So I feel like that caused a lot of depression and animosity and, you know, bad feelings towards life, you know. And so it was hard. We moved to a new town. I was forced to move. I lost all my friends, all the people that I loved and cared about. And like, if I would have stayed in that school, we would have been best friends today. It was hard. And I went to a new high school where I knew not one person. No one. That was rough. And I didn't join any sports because I didn't know anybody. I stopped really caring about things. I rebelled. I, you know, just was very uncomfortable with myself. Like, I wasn't one of the people who like go out and make friends, you know. Growing up, I always told my grandma, I don't want friends. And it's kind of true. Like, friends found me. I didn't find friends. I just wasn't good at it. I was too anxious of a person to go out there and be like, hey, my name's Karen. Do you want to come be my friend, my pal, my buddy? Like, it didn't work that way. So, you know, I stopped caring about what I was eating. I stopped caring about what I was looking like. And it wasn't until I moved to that school when I was in, freshman. I was a sophomore. In my junior year, I went to a school that is like it's called BOCES, and it is an adult, you know, kind of like an adult education school, and students who get chosen can go there and do adult courses. So I decided to go there and take some pre-nursing courses and to get my health. It was called a something health degree. And then after that year, if I was brought back in my senior year, I can take my certified nursing assistant license, which I ended up doing. And I ended up meeting this girl named Jennifer, who is amazing. She was into cheerleading, but she did competition cheerleading through this gym near my town. And we decided that we were going to split the cost because she was doing private lessons, but she said that I could come in for like $20 a session and do her thing with her. And I was like, wow, like that's awesome. Definitely. Because, you know, I missed cheerleading. I missed having somebody to hang out with and do things with. And I got there, and the coach named Jesse, he was a guy, he was like, okay, girls, to warm up, you're going to run around the mat 20 times. And I was like, oh. I ran around that mat and I almost died the first time around. Not the second or the 15th, the first time around. And I knew it was gonna be rough, okay? This girl was probably about 180 pounds. Like, not as big as I am now, but it's still big. For a 5'1" girl, like, that's big. And I realized very quickly that I wasn't going to be able to do the tumbling that I used to do, and not be able to do the tumbling that she was doing because I was so big. My wrists just weren't having it. They hurt so bad. I felt like I was going to break them. My legs constantly ached, and it was just from the weight being put on me from exerting myself. And so at that time, I went down to my basement, which was a finished basement, and my mom had an elliptical, and she just told me I could use it. So I got on it maybe 3 times a week, worked out for 15, 20 minutes, sweating my butt off, thought I was doing great, thought I was doing amazing. Nothing changed. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I wasn't educated. Okay, I was very, very, very uneducated as a 16-year-old girl. And this is why I wish that PE, which stands for physical education, was about educating, because I didn't learn about what a calorie was. I wasn't being aware of what carbs do to you, or portioning, or how much energy you have to exert to burn a calorie. And so I was putting food in my body faster than I was working out. Now let me tell you something, that led to me getting fat. Okay, that's the reason. And the thing is that when my mom married my stepdad, he was a very good cook. We hadn't had somebody who could cook in a very long time. My mom was a single mom. We ate frozen meals and easy packaged to make things like Easy Mac. Okay? And when I tell people that I was cooking at the age of like 12, yeah, I was cooking frozen meals and I was cooking Easy Mac. And then they have these things called Knorr where you just put water in a pot and you put the noodles in and it boils, and then you put the sauce in it and it's just like instant food. Magical, right? Well, so when she married him, he was a really good cook, and like I realized how many more things I liked. You know, eggplant parmesan over top of pasta, twice baked potatoes, like. But the thing is that he always cooked very high carb, very fatty, very high caloric foods, and we weren't taught to portion by my parents. So I was eating plates like this big, but I was eating 2 of them because the food tasted so good and my body didn't know what it was. You know, like my taste buds loved it so much because we were so used to having the cheaper frozen foods and, you know, easy to make things that I didn't know what this was. I was like, oh, this is gourmet. I'm going to eat it. And, you know, the thing with my mom was that, you know, if you took seconds, you have to eat what's on your plate. Like, you were not allowed to waste food. And that came from, you know, when my mom was a single mom, she couldn't afford food in general. So we didn't get healthy food. And now that we have this food, we can't waste it because we are privileged, you know? And so I'd be taking these big portions, not realizing it, and then I would stuff my face until I was overly full, like sick full. I mean, like I would feel sick and still have to eat it. And that's where the weight came on. That's where I became 180 something pounds and nothing I could do about it. The elliptical only lasted maybe like a month, if that, because I wasn't very educated on actual like working out. I was always used to sports and being told what to do and just burning the calories just by doing it. So like when it came to working out, I didn't know. I can tell you right now, when I was like 16, 17, I didn't know what a squat was. I didn't know that my booty needed to look fine. I just thought that if I put this whale of a body on an elliptical and worked out for 15 minutes a day, I was supposed to look hot. And it didn't happen. So it lasted like a month. And then my senior year, February of my senior year, which was February of 2012 now, I met this guy. And he lived in New Jersey, I lived in New York, and he'd come up and see me. And I wanted to look good for him. And started to, you know, work out on the elliptical again. But I just stayed around 180 pounds for quite a while. And thankfully he was okay with how I looked. He loved me for who I was. And a lot of things happened where like we ended up moving in together like after I graduated, probably like September of 2012. Like that was after I graduated. And he kind of like introduced me to this thing called a gym. And the first gym I ever went to was called Retro Fitness in New Jersey, and I didn't know what I was doing for the life of me. I didn't know how to work out. Like, he tried helping me with things, and then I would go on the equipment and I would feel funny that people were looking at me because A, I didn't know how to work the equipment, so I just looked really funny, just staring at it, staring it down, like figuring out how do you move. And then I found something I did like. They had this movie room where they would play like a movie, and you could go in there and like use the elliptical or the treadmill or the bike, and you know, nobody could really see you because it was dark, and they'd play a movie like really loud, and I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. I was like, cool, like no one's looking at me. I'm gonna stay in the back where nobody can be behind me, and it's gonna be great. And you know, I did. I stuck to it for a little while. I probably lost a little bit of weight. It's probably like 175, and you know, things happened. We broke up. It was a bad breakup for me. Like, you know, my first boyfriend, we were together for 2 years. You know, I'm skipping ahead without telling you dates. I'm sorry. And so, you know, we broke up. And then I didn't work out for a long time again. You know, I gained weight. I met another guy. We moved to Florida. When I came to Florida, I didn't really work out. My first job in Florida was Dunkin' Donuts, and they would allow us to eat free food. And so I gained like weight very rapidly from that. You know, you put donuts in front of my face, I'm gonna eat them, and then it's gonna stick to my body, and then I'm just gonna become a donut myself, and then one day you're just gonna see me and I'm gonna have sprinkles on me. You know, it's how it works. And so I met that guy. We're kind of really fast forwarding here because there's not much to talk about in the middle. And so I met this guy. He ended up becoming like very abusive towards me. It just didn't end well. I ended up leaving him through help of a friend. This friend, he was a really good guy. He was a coworker. He definitely like was not my type at all. And I actually found out later on, after we started a relationship, that he was manic bipolar. That did not end well. But like during the time that we were best friends, before anything happened, he was constantly like treating me to dinner and like treating me out and like taking me out, and like he was basically like drowning my feelings of physical abuse from my ex in food. And I loved it, you know, because up until then, guys that I dated didn't have money to buy me food. I always bought food for me and for them. And, you know, I didn't have a lot of money. I was still really young, living in Florida by myself, not really knowing what I was doing down here. And, like, so we weren't portioning. We would go out and I would order the same thing he would order, and I wasn't portioning, and I blew up so large. I was 245 pounds. I was the worst I've ever been in my entire life. I was feeling down about myself. I was wearing extra large shirts. I was wearing super large pants. Nothing that I actually liked looked good on me. I would go to stores and I would feel very down about like not fitting into clothing, because I'd pick something off the rack that I thought would fit, and then like I couldn't even get it over my head, or like it wouldn't even go up my arm. And I was just like super depressed. And then, so I ended it with this guy. After I left him, I immediately found this guy on Tinder who wanted to meet me. And I was like, oh, okay. So like the first day I looked like super cute and like really tried to lay it on like thick as butter. And it worked. And he was a cool guy. He was cute. And he was in law enforcement and like just everything I thought I kind of wanted at that time. And so we started hanging out, and then we started going out, like being boyfriend, girlfriend, and he was like very into the gym, and I was like, oh, well, I gotta like look good for him because I don't want him to find someone else. Like, I wasn't attractive. I knew I wasn't attracted to myself anymore, and I was depressed, and I was very like not loving myself. And so I tried to go to the gym with him, which worked. We went to UFit in South Florida, and he really took the time to actually teach me how to work out. He would let me work out with him like in his sets, and he would teach me like the proper motions. I really felt like I was learning to work out properly, and you know, he was kind of like teaching me what to put in my body a little better. He was kind of teaching me how to meal prep and basically how to take care of myself. And there was a lot of legwork I had to do on my own, like a lot of research and a lot of coming to Jesus moments. Like, it was hard, you know. I was 245 pounds, but what had happened was we dated for a while. We dated for almost a year, and then he broke up with me. And I was like, no. So I decided that I was gonna work out twice a day, and I was gonna make him jealous and make him want me back. And ladies, to be honest with you, and gentlemen, like, please don't do this. Please don't do this to yourself. If a man does not want you, that is a sign from God saying do not date him, okay? But I did it anyways. I worked out twice a week. I got down to 185 pounds, which I was really happy. I was able to fit into size 10 jeans. I was able to wear medium shirts. I looked really good. I felt really good. I was able to just wear like a sports bra and pants to the gym if I wanted to. Like, I was killing it. And of course I got him back and we dated and we moved up to Orlando, and then, you know, things eventually went wrong anyways. And I gained some of the weight back. I got comfortable in the relationship again and gained some of it back. I also started college, and being in college, you know, you just don't think about things. Freshman 15, it's real. More like freshman 20 for me. It's cool. You know, it happens. Well, it was actually September 2018, but I didn't actually like move out from him till like February of 2019. And at that point I was like 210 pounds, and I started working out because I wanted to meet someone new and stop being in a manipulative position with this guy. And I met this other guy who's now my husband, and I started working out with him, and I lost some weight. I was down to like 200 pounds, and we were doing really good working out. And then we just started having fun. Like, we would go fishing literally every single week, like probably twice a week when we first met. And fitness kind of got pushed back because we started fishing and having so much fun. And then we went on vacation, and then like his family's vacation is where you can go on vacation and there's no rules. And so I was able to eat whatever I wanted and buy whatever I wanted. Like, it was a no rule vacation. What? Let me tell you, I've never had that in my life. So then the weight started to slowly creep up on me. And then we got married last August. And then I had my first Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I had my first Thanksgiving with them and my first Christmas with them. And you eat during that time. And, you know, his parents made food that I hadn't had before, you know. And so I just felt like with the non-working out and the food coming in now, I gained weight again. And I was, I was about 230 something pounds, which is like what I am now, right? Well, then we decided we were gonna have like a real wedding, because we didn't have a real wedding. So we were gonna have a real wedding, and I got this dress, and I was like, okay, well, I want to lose some weight before I get it altered. So I had like a couple months to lose the weight before I had to get it altered for the wedding. And so I worked out. I tried. I got down to like 225. The dress size went down by one size. They had to alter it, and I was like, I am on fire. Well, guess what? March hit. Coronavirus. Literally, we set the last flower in the vase on, what was it? I don't even remember. March something. What was our wedding date? I don't even know. But the day before, we set the last flower in the vase, and the governor of Florida shut down everything. Our wedding was canceled literally less than 24 hours before we were supposed to walk down the aisle. And that was so hard for me. I was like, what am I going to do? So we rescheduled everything. Everything was great, but then Corona hit and we were quarantined, and I had not been home that much for a long time. I was always like working or, out at the stores, looking around, window shopping, doing something active. So after that happened, I ended up gaining weight, which is where I'm at now. I'm 232, and I can't fit in my wedding dress for my wedding in February 2021. So we're on this journey to lose weight, not just for the wedding, but just for me. I'm really, really tired of looking the way I am. I'm really tired of how I feel. The weight makes me really depressed. It makes me really tired. It makes me like not want to get up in the morning. It makes me just want to crawl in a hole and just curl up and just stay there forever. And like, that's not me. And I just started my master's degree. I graduated with my bachelor's, which was a huge feat for me. It was like amazing. And I'm like, well, I'm tired of it. You know, I have 1 year left on my master's and then to go out into the real world. So we're going to lose the weight to be healthier for the rest of my life. I do want to have kids with my husband in about 2 years. So I want to be at a healthy weight for that so I don't have any pregnancy complications. I do just want to look better in photos. I do just want to, you know, have my husband look at me and like want me all the time, like in the movies. It would be great. So we're just on this journey and I just want to take you with me. It's going to be hard. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to show you any false things. We're going to lose weight the right way, the healthy way, the slower way. We're going to fail. We're going to cry. We're going to cry together. We're going to like just make this a thing. And it's just gonna happen and it's gonna be great. So I just want to like thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, you can comment below. If you want to follow me on this journey and learn a little bit more about me and how we're gonna do this, you can just hit the subscribe button below. Make sure you hit the bell so that you can get updates on when I post videos. And yeah, so I'm excited for this journey. Thank you for coming.